This edition of MacVoices is supported by Take Control Books, the answers you need now from leading experts. Visit TakeControlBooks.com to find out what you can learn. And by MacVoices Magazine, our free Flipboard magazine that brings you some of the best Mac, iPhone, and iPad productivity tips on the web. High in signal, low in noise, just like MacVoices, MacVoices Magazine includes information on how you can get more out of your Apple technology. Subscribe at MacVoices.com/magazine or search for MacVoices Magazine on Flipboard. Welcome to Mac Notables on MacVoices. This is the Talk of the Mac community. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we don't exactly have a premiere here. We couldn't quite arrange that, but we have one of the first announcements of the Bob LeVitus TV show with Dr. Mac LeVitus. Bob, it's great to see you.
It's great to be here in my new role as the involuntary auteur. That's the name of my production company, Involuntary Auteur Productions. Yeah.
Why involuntary?
Well, because I have to do everything, and I don't want to. I don't want to be the lighting guy and the makeup guy and the craft services guy and the chauffeur and the assistant director and the assistant producer. I want to just be the writer, host guy. I want someone else to shoot and edit and stuff. But for now, that's not possible. Luckily, I know how to do all this stuff. I don't do any of it very well, but I can do all of it. And so I think I can string together what looks like television, and you saw it, the trademark, infotainment, yeah, with a TM. Not my TM, I made it up.
So let's back up here for a second. Bob LeVitus TV.
BobLeVitus.tv. That way you get to the website too.
Okay, that's the website. So, Bob, why at this stage of the game a TV show? You had done a TV show a while back when things, that was, ancient history at this point, especially technologically. So why did you decide to dive into this, and what are your objectives with this?
Well, what's great is I posted something called Episode 0, the prologue, or why are you doing this? Because everybody asks the same question, and I thought, okay, I'll answer it whenever I can, but I can also post it on the website as an episode, and you can watch the whole story, because the story is, I started out in video. I was a TV commercial producer. I worked for an ad agency, and I made a lot of TV commercials in my 20s. I would say over 100. But the pressure of working in a $300 an hour offline bay and a $500 online bay and paying all these people to work on this, we had very tight budgets, and we spent a lot of money. And I just hated it. It was like, this isn't fun. It was fun when I could go into the studio and sit there and play with stuff for free. And we built a little offline bay, and I could edit to some extent in the office. But to finish anything, I had to go pay a lot of money by the hour. And the pressure was intense. It's like, if you didn't get it right in your 2 hours of editing, what do you tell the client? No, you eat it. You pay for another hour, and your boss kills you, It's not fun. And I didn't enjoy making video that way. So eventually I had an opportunity to do some tech writing, and it turned into magazine, and it turned into books, and I never went back, fortunately, because I wasn't very well suited to it. But the whole time I've been thinking, there's going to come a time when I can do all of this on my Mac. And we got little bits and pieces. In the late 90s, we got little quick take video, 160 by 120 pixels, and I called it state of the art. I loved it, but it wasn't good enough to do a TV show. And then, we got better things. We got Final Cut Pro, we got better cameras, we got HD, all of these things. And then it all scaled to the point where you can edit on a MacBook Pro, where you can really cut HD video on a MacBook Pro, and it looks pretty darn good, I'd say. Now, I'm not saying my show looks great, but it looks good. It looks professionally done to some extent, to the full extent I can do it myself. And I did it for zero. My budget is absolute zero. I haven't spent a penny. I've done it I shot most of the footage with not 2 iPhones and a little bit with my Canon, but we talked before the show. My DSLR is not cut out for shooting video unattended. It might be a great video camera, but it needs a focus puller, and it needs somebody to really pay attention to the camera, and I can't do that. I got to have stuff I can set and forget. Now, my new camera, supposedly, I can control some aspects of it from the iPad. I haven't done it yet, but that could be cool because I can set it to start recording and stop. I wonder if I can zoom in and zoom out. That would be interesting because I'll be able to see it on the iPad screen. We'll see. For now, it's been like, 2 iPhones taped to the wall. I finally got some tripod stands that let them go on regular tripods. So now they set up like real cameras, but they're iPhones.
First of all, I think this is going to be a great thing. And folks, you really should go and watch episode 1 of this because it'll give you an idea of what someone that knows what they're doing can do with just iPhones.
Knows what he's doing.
Well, yeah. Okay, he knows what he's doing.
But it took me a year. That episode is really the product of a year of research and development, and that's the only thing that's really in the can. I've got like 5 other episodes that I don't like enough to release, so I'm redoing stuff. But the thing is, I've been learning the whole time what it's going to take to put out 5 to 15 minutes every 2 weeks of decent, watchable video that's tight. It's scripted. It's very tightly edited. There's no flab. It's not a guy on YouTube showing you a screen movie. It's edited. There's, even when I'm talking, I shoot with 2 cameras so I can cut back and forth so it's not so static and boring. And then I use Final Cut Pro to fake, a slow zoom in or sometimes a slow zoom out. But I'm working with the medium as if it's television. I'm not just setting up a camera and going, okay, here's what I'm going to do. And I'm also doing screen movies and annotation, and you're gonna see stuff. In the first episode, you see me sitting at my desk with the iPad, playing Real Racing on the screen, and you can see I'm tilting the iPad and the car is turning. It's that was not easy to do on no budget. It would be easy to do in a studio where you have full control of the lights and everything else, but getting that to work with no glare was a nightmare. Luckily, I finally got it, and I think the episode looks great. And it really, people who play the game tell me, yeah, you got the essence of it. You really made me feel like I know what it's like to play the game, and it's free. So the bad part is I've spent over 200 hours playing since it came out about a year ago.
Research.
Yeah,
Bob, what
for a job that pays 0?
Yeah, exactly. What are your aspirations? Well, okay, let's go in a couple different directions here. First, the first episode is about a game you like. Is this going to be primarily a software review thing, or do you intend to be? Is it punditry or?
No, every episode will be different. So the first episode was a software review, iPad game review, and the second episode is hidden Yosemite tips. There's a bunch of stuff in Yosemite that's pretty cool to know about that's most people don't know about. I show it like at user group meetings or when I teach, and half the room goes, "Oh, really? That's in Yosemite?" I mean, there's a bunch of cool stuff like that. So that's the next episode. After that, I got one of those roadie guitar tuners, the motorized, you put it on, you hold it on your tuning pegs, and it on your iPhone shows you the strobe tuner, and then it has little motors and it tunes the string for you. So for that, I'm doing a split screen where I tune the guitar with a regular strobe tuner on the left and with the motorized tuner on the right. The kicker is, I don't want to give anything away, but the cheap tuner, the non-motorized, is $6 at Amazon now. And the motorized is $99.
Little extra content.
It's like I think the $99 motorized one is pretty cool, and it'll do things like wind your strings fast if you're restringing a guitar. So it's got some additional value over just a $5 tuner. The question's going to be, which is faster? Because if you're on stage, speed is everything. If you're in front of a crowd, you need those strings in tune as fast as possible. The real thing to do would be to buy one of those new Gibsons with Min-E Tune on board. It tunes the strings while you're playing, all of them, at once. That would be really useful, but that's only on $1,000 plus guitars. It's not a $99 gadget. Oh, I can show you the gadget. It's right here. So that's it, and that goes on the peg, and you just sit it on the peg, and this thing goes. Pretty cool. I mean, in concept, it's so cool. And I haven't done the test yet, so I don't know what the results are going to be, but I kind of have an idea, and I feel bad because it's cute and it's clever, and it took some pretty clever engineering to do it for $100, but when the $5 thing does it twice as fast or 5 times as fast or something, if that's how it turns out, that's going to be a hard sell. Yeah. But neat products. That's one of the things we'll have. At some point, I'm going to start doing people. I want to see if I can get Bill Atkinson, because I want to do PhotoCard. I love his app, PhotoCard. I'm going to do a segment on PhotoCard or an episode on PhotoCard, and I'd love to get Bill to just come on Skype with me and, maybe talk for a minute or two. We'll see. I don't know, I mean, obviously it's doable. This is the second time today I've been on a video podcast. I mean, it's not rocket science. I just don't know if Bill will. He's a nice guy, and I wouldn't say we're friends, but he knows me, and I know him, and I can ask. Bill, if you're watching, by the way, give me a call, huh?
So, Bob, where you said you want to put out 15 minutes every 2 weeks, approximately. 5
to 15, because the first one's 8 minutes, and it's just going to depend. I'm not going to try to fill time. The segments are going to be how long they are. So I think the shortest you can expect is 5 or 6 minutes, and the longest maybe 15 or 20. It just depends on the material and how much time I have to prepare.
So what are your ultimate aspirations for this? Where do you want to take this? I mean, is it strictly web video, or do you have bigger ideas?
I'm glad you asked, because really the thing that I'm hoping for is to get this on cable TV so I can do a half hour of real Apple stuff every week, like a real TV show. So I consider the whole project my demo. So I've committed to myself, I guess, but I've committed to producing 26 episodes, which will be a year's worth. And at the end of the year, we'll see what happens. But I'm having fun doing it. I'm learning a lot. I really believe that you could get this on cable TV and find enough audience. I mean, I watch some of this stuff that's on some of these channels, and while it's okay, I like Pawn Stars. I like Storage Wars, but I don't like it when it's on 7 times in a row, and obviously they need more programming. So wouldn't it be nice if, somebody offered some tech programming once in a while? People are into tech. Everybody in the world has an iPhone. Apple announced that the other day. Everybody in the world has one iPhone, or 1.1 iPhones.
I missed that stat.
Yes, and they also announced that they had the most profitable quarter ever for any company in the history of the universe. That's pretty good. Yeah. For a company that we were not we, but people were calling beleaguered not that long ago. I remember the death knell counter, Yeah. They're not death knell counting anymore.
No, they're dollar counting now. What's the process look like for getting it on? I mean, I don't know. What are we talking about?
Well, my first goal is just to produce episodes. I'm not thinking about cable TV right now. What I'd like to do is have a nice portfolio of episodes that I could show. Once I've got some stuff in the can and I've got some hopefully some fans, people that like it, and some feedback from people that watch it, then I think maybe I'll start thinking about how to approach the cable channels. Because I believe, Comedy Central or Home and Garden Television, they have lots of stuff that's not their bread and butter. HGTV has lots of shows that really aren't that homey. And what about the History Channel? It's like, what's historical about Pawn Stars? No, I mean, the channels have diversified, and so I don't think that it's that. I don't think that it's that outrageous to think that at some point somebody's going to say, "Hey, you know what? we could produce this show for half of what we produce those House Hunter shows for. We don't need a field crew. We don't need a lot of editing. A lot of it's screen movies. A lot of screen time will be eaten up by stuff that costs zero. I mean, it is a pretty economical thing to produce. And you know, if you look at something like Tosh.0, you can see that you can produce that professionally and still be, you know, I'm talking about technology. He's way snarkier and trying to be more comedy than information, and I'd like to be more information with, you know, my sense of humor thrown in, but it's not a comedy show. I'll say something funny if I can think of it, but he's, you know, he's looking for the laughs. He's mining the internet for laughs and stuff. But the fact is that show looks good, and it's, I'm sure, very inexpensive to produce. Because it's a virtual set. You do that in a green screen room. I could build one at my house for, you know, a few $1,000s. I could do very credible green screen work in this office. I actually have a green screen in the other room, but it's a portable, so I have to set it up and tear it down. Set it up, tear it down.
Yeah.
I rarely do green screen, but I could, and you know, that makes it look even better. I have some green screen featuring my producer, the Talking Moose. I'm going to try to work that in someday.
Well, have you seen, sort of on topic, sort of off topic, have you seen Crazy Talk?
No, oh yeah, Crazy Talk Animator Pro, yeah. Where you can, I looked at that and I thought, you know what, I can do that already with the Talking Moose, and I know how. Because I looked at it and I thought, you know, this would be really fun to use in the TV show. It's a if you don't know out there in TV land, it's a app that has animated characters, and you can type copy and their lips will move appropriately for them. And synthesized voice if you want, or you can sync it to your voiceover, but it's pretty realistic. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun? I could, like, you know, have my producer and his lips would move. But then I remembered the Talking Moose, and since he's the producer anyway, I just type what I want him to say, and he says it. Yeah. And he puts it on the screen in a cartoon balloon bubble, too.
That stuff, it's interesting now that it's become available to you and me, or at least to me, because I can't do your Talking Moose. Because I talked to those guys for the last 2 years at Macworld, and just watching how they've developed.
Crazy Talk?
Yeah.
It's an amazing app. I looked at it and I thought, oh, you know, if I had a year, I would take this and do something really fun with it, because it's so cool that you can animate whatever you want and make it say whatever you want without any people. You know, all you alone in a room, you can put the words in the mouth and make the mouth move. I love that. But I just don't have the time. They actually, I think, have like a two versions. There's like a beginner version and a pro version. But I don't even have time to learn the beginner version. Heck, I have to do everything for the show. It has to be stuff I already know how to do, or I'm not going to get the next show out. Yeah. You know, I can't bite off any new projects. Like I can't decide I'm going to use a crane shot in the next show. Because A, I don't have a crane.
Yeah, it's just a small problem.
And B, I don't think there's anything in any of my shows that's going to be appropriate for a crane, but who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so talking projects, let's talk about old projects first. So this doesn't mean that you're giving up the books or the Houston Chronicle or any of that.
No, right? I'm going to work for Apple because I hear that's the in thing to do this week.
Yes, we lost a Mac Notable.
We did lose, and you will not be seeing him on this show anymore because he's banned from being a Mac Notable anymore. Although he did tell me that he is not banned from being a part of Macworld All-Star Band.
You know, Chris and I talked last week on the show, and as a swan song thing, and that was the one thing I meant to ask him and forgot. So that
was the first thing I asked him when I saw that he tweeted it publicly. The first thing I asked was, "Does this mean you're breaking up the band, Yoko?"
Yeah. Good. Well, that's definitely good.
No, I didn't use the Y word. Somebody else did, and I said, you know, I thought about using. I didn't want to even invoke the specter of Yoko.
No, so you will not be giving up.
No, nothing. This isn't. This, you know what? This is kind of like Apple TV. It's a hobby. You know, I can't explain it any other way. I mean, why would I spend all this time doing something that I have no intention of making money off of? I mean, I set up a Patreon page. You can make donations. You can become a sponsor, and you can get cool swag like the T-shirt. And I forgot, I need a sip of tea.
Jeez, you,
Shameless, aren't I?
yeah, you got all the ancillary stuff going, and I love the Dr. Mac jacket in the back. That's good.
Yeah, that's my Scotty vest lab coat. That thing's got 30 pockets in it, and it's got channels for all the cables. That is Geek Coat Deluxe. I love that thing. It's so geeky, I actually wear it sometimes when I travel because it's so great to have all those pockets. It's got 2 iPad pockets inside. I mean, you can just slide and they're deep enough that the iPad is all the way in there. You walk around with 2 iPads, iPhone with the wires going up the back and up to your headphones if you're wearing wired headphones. You can put a battery in one pocket and a device in the other and run the cable through the channels so you can charge it. It's just cool, you know. That's the kind of thing that appeals to me.
And that's the kind of thing I think people would enjoy seeing more about.
I think we're going to have apparel. I think we're going to have wearables as you know, one of the things we talk about, because obviously next month or month after it's going to become a big thing. So, you know, that's wearable. It doesn't have any electronics of its own, but it's wearable. And I think that'll be fun because that's just another kind of sub-universe that we can play in.
Well, there's so many directions this could take, because you go in so many different directions. So
is Apple making a car?
No, jeez. That could be an interesting direction, but I think that'll take a while to come to fruition, if it ever does. I don't know. But it's something you had talked to me about before, though, that I'm a little surprised that you're taking on this project now. As I recall, you're getting ready to relocate.
Well, it's funny. I was going to do it anyway, even if we did relocate, but it turns out things changed. My wife couldn't find work up there that was as good as the job she has now, and she kind of got they want her to stay for a while, and so it just isn't the right time to take off and have a new adventure and spend all this time on something, you know, that's not generating any revenue. So we're going to stay put, which is good because it means I don't have to try to figure out where to shoot stuff for the next 3 months while I expected to be selling the house and buying a new one in the spring, but it looks like we'll stay at least another year, couple years. So for now, that's off the table. And even though I thought I could do it, I'm glad that it worked out that I'm not. Also, I like my house here. It's got a hot tub 4 steps away from my bedroom. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that somewhere else. And, you know, if I have to build it, it'll take months or weeks.
Yeah, that could be tough to replicate.
Well, it gave me pause, you know, before we listed the house. So for now, we're not going anywhere yet.
Yeah. Bob, let's geek out for a second on the television show. We've talked about the cameras and all. We've talked about, you know, some of the other things. How are you doing the video? How are you hosting the video? What are you using for the website?
Thank you. This is good because I don't think anybody else is going to ask this, and it's kind of neat because it was all a new adventure for me. So I decided, first of all, I decided I didn't want to host the video myself because that requires, you know, managing, either finding someone to or managing a streaming server, and it was too much effort for me. I want it to be effortless. So I decided to go with YouTube because it's cheap, like free, and reliable, and you know, you can put big video up there. I don't think I'll ever make an episode that's too big. I think there are limits, 2 gigabytes? I'm not getting anywhere near that. I mean, my episodes are like, you know, 400 megabytes or something for 8 minutes. So, where was I? What was I?
YouTube, hosting the video.
Oh,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
So YouTube hosts, and then my website's built, as you know, in Squarespace. And the reason I did that was I've always built my own websites, and they've always looked pretty amateurish. And I thought, you know, this is a TV show. I want it to have a kind of a minimalist, slick vibe that I'm not graphically capable of pulling off. and that most templates I've seen don't do. And I looked at Squarespace because they advertise on MacGeekGab. And I thought, okay, so I get 10% off for the first year, and it's $8 a month, and the sites are beautiful. I mean, and they're really pretty effortless to maintain. So far, there's some headaches, like, can I have a sidebar on that page? No, the template doesn't allow it. You could write code if you want, but you just either the template has one or doesn't. Or how do I move this over just a little? It's like, okay, you can't do that. But if you're willing to, live with stuff like that, you get these beautiful templates that don't let you make mistakes. They don't let you, leave things hanging or cut off text. And, it's just, they look out for you. It's pretty easy to edit on the web. It's pretty responsive. I don't mind using the web-based editor. I thought I might. I've always used Dreamweaver, RapidWeaver, Claris Weaver, whatever it was called. I never code in HTML. I'm not good enough. I just don't have the chops for it. But I've always used a graphical editor and uploaded my own files and managed the whole thing myself. And so far, I'm very happy with Squarespace. I can see renewing and keeping it there for another year after this. And I think it's pretty easy to change the look. So at some point, maybe in a year, we'll get a facelift by installing a different template. And all the data just kind of lives there they've got a nice system. You can preview the other templates and go, ooh, that's even nicer than what I had. Let's go with that. And you click a button and everything migrates to the new design. Pretty nice. I mean, you don't want to do it too often, but it's nice to know that in a year, because I always look at my website and go, I'm getting a little sick of this after 3 years. BobLeVitus.com has been the same for 7 years already. Why? Because redesigning it is like my worst nightmare. I'm not a designer. I don't relish that. That's a lot of work and not fun for me. Editing video, it's fun. So I don't mind that part. So that's the thing, is I wanted to find something that let me, do this without spending a lot of time on back-end chores. I don't have to. I use Direct Mail, the Direct Mail app for Mac, to manage my mailing lists. I've got a newsletter. Oh, you can sign up for my newsletter. There's at the bottom of every page on the site, you can click here and sign up for the newsletter. And the newsletter will go out every 2 weeks to announce each episode's release and tell you what's in it, and maybe some other stuff. We'll see. I don't want to promise too much for the newsletter because that's not what it's about. But if I have time, you'll get more than just, a 2-line description of what the next episode is. But either way, you'll get notified when new episodes come out. There's RSS. You can subscribe to the feed. I haven't figured out how to make it work in iTunes yet. Squarespace says I can do it, and they have instructions, and I've kind of got there. And now I'm at the stage where it's getting halfway through and not validating something in the RSS feed. So I'm still exploring that. I'm sure I'll be in the iTunes store in a couple of weeks. I just don't know what exactly is wrong with that. What is it? It's some big XML file that has to be letter perfect to go into iTunes. You must know about this.
Yeah. Just like any programming thing, you're right. It has to be picked letter perfect or.
What do you use for your pod feeds? Podcast feeds.
I build the RSS.
You build the XML. The XML yourself.
Well, I build it in Feeder.
In Feeder, okay.
Feeder, and then publish the RSS or publish it, that way.
Because I've been trying to do it with FeedBurner, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to maybe give up FeedBurner and try something different, because maybe that's where the problem is. Because Squarespace. Now the problem is Squarespace says that if you do it with audio, it automatically does everything you need. With video, though, it's different. You have to do it manually by setting up the RSS and filling in a bunch of form stuff. So wait, what was that called? Feeder?
Feeder. Yeah, reinvented software.
Feeder. Yeah, I did a search. It's not in the Mac App Store, right? So I did a search on the internet for RSS feed prep or maker, and I tried a lot of different ways and didn't come up with anything. And I thought, Well, maybe that's because everybody's using these sites that do it, like FeedBurner, where you give them your URL and they do all the XMLing. But apparently they're not getting along with Squarespace the way they're supposed to yet.
I can't speak for a Squarespace site because I haven't done it there. But first of all, folks that listen to the show know I have a blog on Squarespace. I love Squarespace. I'm still using WordPress for the main MacVoices site just simply because
it's there. It's inertia. It's hard to move something like that to a new platform.
Well, it is because there's so much legacy content there, and things were kind of put together in all sorts of different ways, back when we started. So it's not a smooth, normal blog export.
How about this? You close that site and freeze it and start new with a link back to the archive. That way you don't have to worry about that legacy thing, and you can start fresh and do it, however is right for Squarespace, because it is easy. Once you get used to it, it's so nice to just be able to, anytime, look at your page and go, oh, I see something I want to change, and just click the little arrow and go, okay, I fixed it.
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I'm experimenting, like we all do. You tinker a little bit, but you could do that. But I hate to leave legacy content anywhere, and unfortunately,
well, you'd have to pay for that hosting too, so you'd be paying twice. But
that's not as much of a problem, Bob, as the idea that you still really have to keep that site maintained.
But you don't have to make any changes once it's working.
No, but you have to do the upgrades, or you have security problems, or all that. So it's
if you're running the server yourself. But
yeah,
I've never hosted my own. I've never hosted my own things because I'm on cable I'm on a cable modem. If I host stuff, pretty soon those guys will be at my door going, "What the hell are you doing to our network?"
Yeah, they don't like that when you run servers.
No, it's in the contract that you can't run a web server on this grade, the consumer grade.
Yeah. This edition of MacVoices is supported by Take Control Books. The answers you need now from leading experts. Take Control books are a great way to have some of the best authors in the business help you focus on getting more out of a particular program, service, or task. In Take Control of Dropbox, Joe Kissel updates his already excellent guide to the popular cloud sharing service that can help you sync and share data, photos, application settings, and more across your Mac and iOS devices. Charles Edge has updated Take Control of OS X Server for OS X Yosemite, making it easy for you to tap the power of a server for your particular needs. Charles gives you the details on the hardware you need, what kind of services you have available to you, and why you would want to go to the trouble. File Vault is one of the easiest, yet most powerful things you can use to keep your data safe. In Take Control of File Vault, Joe Kissel takes you beyond flipping the switch to discover the options that File Vault offers and how to use it to your advantage. And don't forget the Take Control crash courses, the Take Control books that are even more focused and cover digital sharing, iOS 8, Yosemite, and Read Me First, where you'll learn Mac and iOS basics that you may have missed. Visit Take Control Books to pick up all of these and more from authors like Tanya Angst, Michael E. Cohen, Josh Centers, and Kirk McElhern. Take Control Books, the answers you need now from leading experts. Thanks to Take Control Books for their support of MacVoices.
Oh, so you got a Drobo too, huh?
Oh, I've got a few Drobos around here.
I've only got one, but I just got it. It took me a long time to come around, but boy, am I happy. It's a really nice piece of kit. And at their new price with the discount, it finally hit the threshold for me where, okay, I'm stupid if I don't do this.
Yeah.
It was like $299 or maybe $249. $249 because there was a rebate from Fry's. Mm. It was $299 on sale, $349 list, $299 on sale, and then a $50 rebate or $60 rebate. I was at Fry's thinking, I've wanted one for so long, and now I've never seen one for $250. I went home with it, Yeah. It was one of those things.
Well, be warned, because once you start to use it, you never want to go back to a regular hard drive again.
Well, no, I was just thinking, I think I need to get another one because I've got a bunch of stuff that I need to move off of the Drobo because it's getting full, even though it's 16 terabytes.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Well, 16 terabytes of storage in it, which nets me about 11. But, I can see that later this year or next year, I might get a little crowded in there. And what am I going to do then?
Yep.
Now, they do have six terabyte drives.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, if I replace all the 4s with 6s, that's pricey. Yeah. I might just replace a couple of them. Maybe I'll just, as they die, replace them with 6s.
Well, you could do that, or like you say, get another Durbo and take that,
stock it with 6s,
or stock it with 4s. It's still probably
4s
cheaper.
Cheap.
4s are cheap.
I was at the store the other day, and they were 89, 79, 89. Yeah. I didn't buy any because I've got a couple actually of spares, but hard disks, it used to be that was a pretty hefty expense when they died. Now I treat them like tapes. When a hard disk dies, I just traded one. I just sent one back to Western Digital under warranty. It was 2 years old, but it was still under warranty, and it was a hassle, but it was worth it because they sent me back a brand new disk, 3 terabyte, for free. But usually, like when I have some 750s and stuff. One of them died the other day, and I looked at it and I thought, even if it was under warranty, I don't care. I threw it away. It would be too much work to get it fixed, even if it were under warranty, which it wasn't.
Yeah. Hey, I did want to ask you, again, pre-show we were talking about the fact that you did buy, at the end of production here for this edition, you bought a video camera. What did you decide to get and why?
I bought the Vixia, let me see what the model number is, but it's the one that Wirecutter said was second to the $580 Panasonic that they named their top pick. It's a Vixia HFR 500, and it's very small.
Wow.
But it takes nice pictures. For this show, I'm not that demanding, and I'm not like color grading, and I'm not color correcting too much. I'm just, it's fine. It's actually the best camera in the arsenal right now. So it'll absolutely do. It does all the things I wanted, which is basically it'll run for more than 10 minutes without shutting off. Because my SLR wants to shut off after 10 minutes of video. And a lot of my takes, I don't want to stop because I have to go turn off all the cameras and the lights. And it's more like if I blow a take, I go, okay, this is take 6.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing. I run, I want to run for maybe 30 minutes. I'll go back and fix it later. But my SLR, I'd hear it click while I was talking. And I go,
Bob, that's something that I had to learn. And I think that maybe we could share that. I'm not quite sure why. I think it has something to do with, I don't know if it's European law here or our law in Europe, but a lot of these cameras, like the DSLRs, they will only shoot for, like you say, 15, maybe 30 minutes at a shot, and then you have to start them over, as opposed to something like the Vixia you just showed, where it's a video camera, so you hit the button and it goes until it fills up the card. I don't know what that is, but I'm like you. I've gone to shoot events, and it's annoying as the devil.
My research has shown me that the people that are getting great results with SLRs are A, using really good lenses, B, using really good lighting, and C, doing a lot of post-production work, doing a lot of color grading and using stuff like what's it called, magic bullets. They're doing a lot of work to get a film look out of a digital camera that's actually a SLR still camera. The other thing is, in order to get the look of cinema, you need a camera operator and or a focus puller, but you need somebody actually watching every second and managing that. And if you're going to, zoom in and zoom out, somebody's got to be pulling focus while the zoom is happening. I mean, it takes at least one good person on the camera, maybe more likely two. And that's just how they, you hear about TV shows that shoot everything on a 5D. Okay. But they're doing it with, thousands of dollars worth of lenses and tens of thousands of dollars worth of light and two people babying that camera and, being on that lens and looking at it on a high-def monitor while they're shooting to make sure that focus is exactly the way they want it. It's a lot of work, but it's doable. And certainly there's a big benefit because if you shoot on film, you've got big back-end costs to process the film, and editing is much more expensive because, you have to have literally film stock to edit. I guess you can transfer and edit digitally and then transfer back, but they don't want to do that. They want to edit film. These days, it's pretty hard to tell the difference up on the big screen.
Yeah, and from a production standpoint, there are a lot of advantages, to digital. No question.
Yeah, you can watch the dailies 4 seconds later.
Yeah.
You can watch the dailies right on the set before you strike. You can say, okay, did we get it? And you can walk into the trailer and watch it on a big screen. Yeah, I have to say, in a few years, only the iconoclasts will shoot film because it's just not that different. If you want a certain look, in a few years, you'll be able to get exactly the same look from digital, but it'll cost you a tenth. So it'll be rare when people shoot on film because there's just so many drawbacks to it. That's very old technology.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's old technology, but it is.
How old?
Yeah. So what other projects do you have going? Again, other than the ones we usually know about, any books in the works or that you can talk about?
No, I can't. We're in talks with my publisher to get the next round of iPhones and iPads and everything else. So nothing to announce yet, but I'm sure that'll work itself out in the next couple months. What else? I've got BobLeVitus.tv. I gave Pat the consulting business. Pat is now the sole proprietor of Dr. Mac Consulting. I've licensed the name to her for a penny. Because I love her, but I don't have time to do consulting anymore, and she still loves doing it. And, I said, well, it's hosted at BobLeVitus.com, and I want to point that to BobLeVitus.tv and make BobLeVitus.tv my main website. So I'll give you the name and the phone number and the customer. You can have everything, but you got to find a new place to park the website, and So it turned out I owned the domain Dr. Mac Direct, which wasn't really what we called the company. It was a company that I started in the mid-2000s that never went anywhere, but I kept renewing the domain. I figured I might want that someday. So she's using that. So Dr. Mac Direct is where you'll find Pat and consulting services. And I'm going to send her a bill now for the plug.
And I got to tell you, Pat is terrific. So,
she's so much better than me.
Yeah.
I swear. I used to tell clients, you don't want to work with me. I have a short temper, and I'm not that nice. Pat is the most patient, understanding, and smart tech person. She knows how to explain stuff to people who aren't very tech savvy. Yeah. She's great with the really clueless clients. The ones that drive me nuts.
Well, or the ones that you run into something really strange. Pat has it down. So, I feel very comfortable plugging her here.
She's the best troubleshooter I know.
Yep.
Me included, know. And she is dogged, determined. Our policy was we don't charge you more than we say we're going to charge you, even if it takes longer than we thought. And I've seen her charge somebody for 15 or 30 minutes and spend 2 hours to fix something because she won't give up till she's got it. And it's a matter of pride for her. It's like she just doesn't like to admit defeat.
So you can find that now at Dr. Mac Direct. But
yeah, I think it's still at BobLeVitus.com. I'm actually moving the domain, so I haven't set up the forwarding yet because I don't want the mail to go away till I'm sure the other mail works. But in the next week or two, BobLeVitus.com won't have consulting. It'll just go right to my TV show.
Okay, good.
And I'm trying to get more active in social media, so follow me on Twitter at LeVitus or visit my page, the BobLeVitus.tv, the Bob LeVitus TV show. They don't let me have dots on Facebook, so it's the Bob LeVitus TV show page.
Great.
Like my page.
So you're just spreading out and doing all kinds of stuff.
I'm having so much fun. This is the most fun I've had with my clothes on in so long.
On that note, I think we'll just wrap it here. Bob, it's great to see you. And I have to confess, I'm kind of glad that you're not moving because that means you'll be a lot more stable and, we'll see Bob LeVitus TV develop.
I'm still moving, but just not probably this year.
Just not this year. Okay. Well, then it's just put off for a while.
And this is pretty portable because the truth is I could do a segment off my laptop in a hotel room. You know, if I was traveling and I wanted to do a segment, I'd do something that had a lot of screen movies in it, and I could just shoot my part anywhere because I'm not going to be on screen that much for that.
Yeah.
And I've got good microphones that I can travel with. I just got a really cute one. Wait, before we leave.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to pull out a toy or two, and we'll talk about them.
I'm trying to think where did I put it in the other room already. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I showed you this last time we talked, but this thing, the Nova Flash. No. This is oh man. So there's a camera app on my iPhone. Here I can do a live demo. This is fun. We'll open the cam. They have their own camera app called Nova Camera. And what it is this is a Bluetooth external flash. I'm gonna turn this so I'm shooting a selfie of myself, and watch. I'm gonna put this so that I side light my face from the side. Now, I suppose I should import this so you can edit it, but look at the nice highlights on the side of my face. See that?
Yeah.
I mean, it adds a whole new dimension to taking photos with your iPhone because you can do side fill, you can do up fill, you can just add some ambient light, and you can control it from the camera. You can, some of the options, let's see, gentle light, warm light, neutral light, bright light, and then there's custom where you can actually choose the color temperature and how much intensity is coming out of it. It's Bluetooth. And it's only $50. So, I mean, if you're a serious iPhone photographer, I slip this in my shirt pocket a lot when I'm running around. When I'm out running around with my camera and I know I'm going to be shooting pictures, especially if I'm going to be shooting any kind of products or people, because it's great for products. Man, the ability to put the light right where you need it when you're shooting a product. And it's so, you know, it's very maneuverable. It's like having a light panel, like a light box. It's like a little light box, but it's only that thick.
Wow, very nice.
Isn't that cool?
That is. That is. You always have the best toys.
I always have cool toys.
You really do.
That's kind of my thing. Have you seen this? This is my other favorite, and I'm so happy. Thank you for sending me this, Logitech. So I love the UE Boom, right? Ultimate Ears Boom was the best speaker. I tested probably 30 speakers in the $100 range. A $200 range, including the jam box, and I thought that the smaller version of this was the best. Oh yeah, and that's their little one.
This is the mini boom. Yep, I love it.
So this is called the Mega Boom. Can you see how big that is? I mean, this is like 35–40% bigger, and boy, does it! If you think the boom sounds good and the mini boom sounds good, the Mega Boom. I took it with me last time I traveled, and I got complained on in the hotel.
Which is always the test of a good speaker.
I was having so much fun. It's really a great speaker. It's $299 retail, and because it's from Logitech, you can probably find it for less than that. And it is just awesome, and it's like 15 hours per charge. I like that toy.
That's a good
I
one.
also like these guys, Clip.
Yes.
They make lenses for and I'm actually using their lenses. You know, I'm trying to integrate it into the production, but I do use the wide angle so I can capture with one iPhone kind of a master shot, so I can cut away to a wide, like, you know, big shot and then back to my face when I'm talking. So I have some, you know, just gives it some kind of a continuity and flow like real TV. It has titles too, and credits.
It's going to be fun to watch this evolve and watch you put your particular style and flair on it.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's what it is. I mean, it's like I love doing user group meetings because really I like presenting, and this is just another way for me to get in front of people and present. And in theory, a way to get in front of a lot more people than usual. You know, I mean, it could be thousands or tens of thousands at once. So everybody out there in TV land, go to your browser now and type in boblevitus.tv. Watch episode 1. If you like it, tell me. No, if you like it, tell your friends. If you don't like it, tell me. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Let's try that again.
And if you know a cable operator, point them to it, because
Yeah, if you know somebody that at Discovery Channel or HGTV or History Channel or any of those channels out there, Comedy Central, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. Make me an offer.
you could, well, no, I better not say that. Yes, you can sign this man up and add him to your stable of talent. How's that?
Yes.
I like that too.
I can't wait.
Bob, it's great to see you. Thanks for the time. It's always a blast.
Hey, thanks for having me on and letting me plug my show. You know,
Yep.
We got swag. If you sponsor the show to the tune of a couple of bucks an episode, you get swag. I got all kinds of swag gifts.
Cool.
Click the Patreon button if you want swag.
Great.
Oh, there's also a store you can buy this stuff. I'm selling it all at cost. You know, it's if somebody's willing to pay for a shirt that says "proud sponsor of the Bob LeVitus.tv" shirt, I don't want to make a profit.
Yeah.
I'm selling everything at cost.
Keep us informed. We'll see.
Everything must go.
We'll see. We'll see you again
His
soon.
prices are insane.
Folks, that's Bob, Dr. Mac LeVitus. Check out his new TV show. Check out MacVoices. We're just going to keep doing great stuff here.
Yes.
And we'll have Bob back and all the regulars, plus some new friends and some new folks you haven't talked to yet. Until the next time. Yeah, I hope so. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting macvoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.